Alright, got this package today. Came all the way from Hong Kong. I ordered a lot of stuff. AliExpress, Alibaba, eBay, Amazon, Newegg, and I was quite confused what this package could be, because it could be any one of those, but the tracking number didn't match any of them, one of those, and I thought maybe, just maybe, it might be the Helium miner. The Helium miner that I ordered like 3 months ago. Okay. I mean, it's kind of the right size. There's no branding on this, is there? I'm not sure if it's the correct box. It's probably some kind of repurposed cardboard box. Ooh, Bobcat. It is. Oh my god. It exists. It is real. It is in my hands. It's so light. Oh man. I have no idea how to use this. I have no idea how to set it up, so it'll take some time. But this is so exciting. Sweet. Yeah, this is most unorganized unboxing ever. But yeah, look at that. There's the antenna mount. It's kind of interesting. It's just solid connection. And I think this is magnetic. Got a power supply in here. And a hotspot. And a base for the hotspot. Oh my god, this is awesome. Yeah, I'm not planning to run it from my own place. I think I have a better location for it. So we'll see how that goes. So here's an update. I've temporarily set up the Helium miner in the living room. Yeah, there's a bed in my living room. To have it sync up with the blockchain, because I know it takes some time. And yeah, it's kind of dark, maybe you can see, but here it is. I had it set up in the living room, and it was daytime when I got this guy synced up. I started to get it syncing, and now it's nighttime 5 days later. It took 5 days for this guy to get it shit together and start actually doing stuff. Until that time, it was doing a whole bunch of weird stuff. Well, for the first day, it was just syncing. For some reason, it was showing relayed, even though I had the port forwarding open. Then I've tried to plug it in with the Ethernet cable, see if that makes sense better. It was still showing relayed. Well, that's better than what I was doing the next day. On the next day, it was showing offline and not syncing. And the next day after that. It took about 5 days. And after 5 days, it just appeared online and synced, and doing what it's supposed to be doing. So I was finagling a lot with it. So I had tried port forwarding on Wi-Fi IP address, tried port forwarding on Ethernet IP address. Eventually, the last place where it was left at was Wi-Fi. So I didn't try to plug in Ethernet cable back in, just left it as it is, because that's the first time I was able to get it online in 5 days. Alright, so I guess I should do an explanation. What is helium mining and what am I doing? Helium mining is a form of crypto mining similar to Ethereum and Bitcoin. Ethereum and Bitcoin are using what it's called a proof of work algorithm.
In a proof-of-work algorithm, computational power is used to solve a puzzle. If your hardware was able to solve the puzzle, you get to add next block to a blockchain. And there's a reward paid out to each block that is added. And these blocks contain transactions from which address to which address, how much crypto was sent. And basically that's how crypto blockchain works on a basic level from my understanding. The computational power used to solve the cryptographic puzzle is not really useful outside of just securing a network. Large amount of computational power usually come at the cost of a large amount of electricity consumption. And that's why proof of work algorithms have such a bad reputation, and that's why there's a lot of fuss about Bitcoin consuming so much power. So what Helium is doing is called a proof of coverage network. This is also supposed to be a secure network where transactions take place. But instead of solving arbitrary puzzles, Helium provides internet connectivity. So these Helium miners, they take internet connection from Ethernet or Wi-Fi and they broadcast it further than Wi-Fi can possibly do. So if you go to helium.com and you click on Explorer, you can actually see whole Helium network in real time. Let's zoom in here. Yeah, so all of those green dots, those would be the Helium hotspot miners. That's where the internet is broadcasted over the LoRa frequencies. And let's zoom in on Vancouver downtown here. So that's how many hotspots they are. And you can just imagine that one of those would be like a Wi-Fi router. Of course, except if it was a Wi-Fi router, it would not be enough of them because they would not reach that far. Now the Helium hotspots, they use LoRa frequency, which are able to reach further distances, but at the same time they're not able to provide the same bandwidth that Wi-Fi would be able to provide. So it's a different type of connection. And at the moment, the way that Helium is rewarded is that you don't need to have that many hotspots close together. Because, for example, this one hotspot is enough to provide good internet connectivity within 300 meters. So there are way too many hotspots in downtown. So that's why the reward scaling is goes into effect. So if you go and check out like hotspot miner here, you can see that the reward for this guy is scaled down to about 20%. That's because there's too many hotspots around him. Whatever reward supposed to be getting in that area is split like into 5 hotspot miners that are too densely packed into that one area. Another cool thing about Helium is that, yeah, not only you can see how well this hotspot miner is doing, how much money they're earning, you can actually see other hotspots that are owned by the same address by clicking on this owner address. And you can see that this address has 15 other hotspots. So that was not the only hotspot that this address is connected to. So chances are, if it's not the only hotspot, chances are he made a deal with the property manager of that building and asked them to put their hotspot at that location and for the part of the profit. And probably made deals with all other these locations on this list here. Maybe one of those locations is actually home address of the person, but you know, it could be just all of those locations could be hosted. Maybe his own home location is not worth it at all, and it's better to have his hotspot hosted somewhere else. And you can see here the reward scale. So you can see that one location is actually getting 100%, well, two locations getting 100%, but a lot of them are actually scaled down because they're too densely packed with other ones. And you can see here the record of how well each location is doing, and how well it's doing over time, if it has decreased in profitability or increased in profitability. So that's why this map is find it pretty cool. So that way you can check and gauge how much you can possibly earn from different locations, and also you can check what hotspots are around you and how much they're making, and how many other hotspots are owned by people who have hotspots close to you. And why would you want to know that? Well, I hypothesize that if you're in some dense area, for example, let's say over here, you have two hotspots already close to your house, and you want to put a third one there. Obviously, that's just going to cut the profits of everyone in this area. But let's check how many hotspots this guy owns. Okay, well, this guy actually only owns one hotspot. So chances are that this person is doing it from their own home. So chances are, if you put another hotspot in the same, if you live in the same building and you put another hotspot in the same building with him, he's not gonna move, because that's his own location. That's probably where his home is, and he's not like an enterprise that's doing this for as a huge business and making deals with the locations to host, as opposed to like some other locations. Let's check like maybe this guy here. Let's check on both of them. Yeah, so you can see this is quite a wealthy person. He already has over $50,000 worth of crypto in his account, and he has 12 other hotspots and multiple locations. So obviously he's making deals with the locations to host the hotspots. And if you put the hotspot right next to him, that's gonna cut into his profits. And eventually he might say, heck, maybe this location is not worthwhile, and he's just gonna move it somewhere else, because clearly whoever owns this account knows what he's doing, and he knows how to move his hotspots around, and he will find a better place to host his hotspot. And actually that's kind of cool, because this guy has hotspots in other provinces also. So yeah, his home province might not even be BC, it might be Alberta. And maybe he has multiple people helping him do this kind of business, because clearly they're making a lot of money. So if you are close to these locations and there are already two hotspots in the same place, might as well put a third one in there, because clearly it's it's profitable, and chances are, if you put another one there and if it cuts into the other one's profits, maybe they'll move. I don't know. This might be a dick move, and people might hate for me for suggesting such a thing. But I think it's okay, for like, if that's where your home is and that's where you live, and that's the only place, that's most feasible place for you to host hotspot. I'd say why not? And I think it will be a good for the network overall, because from what I've noticed looking at the map, um, there's a handful of people on most of the hotspots. So there is a lot of addresses that will own hundreds or tens of hotspots, and they host them everywhere. At first I thought it's like each individual person is hosting a hotspot from their own home, and that would be pretty cool, but it's not. There's not that many people that doing this, as many as the dots they are. So it would be nice if more people would doing this from their homes, and the network was more decentralized, as opposed to having these enterprises that are commercializing this hotspot business, and putting their hotspots, making deals and stuff. But that's just my point of view. I'm not sure if that's going to be good for the network, because people doing it from their homes might be less reliable than people who are actually making deals and providing business, doing it as a business as opposed to doing it as a hobby.
So I've left the hotspot mining at my own home address, which I'm not planning to do for a long time, I just wanted to try to see how profitable it would be. So on average, I'm getting about 2 helium per day, which is about $20 or $24 American dollars, which are more valuable Canadian pesos. But would I be doing this if I was getting paid only $2 a day? Yeah, even if it was 2 Canadian pesos a day, I would still be doing it, because that's enough to pay off the cost of the miner in a year, so it's not that costly. And I think the whole project is actually really cool to, spread the connectivity around the, populated cities, so other people can use like LoRa devices to connect to them. That would be pretty cool. I think some of the LoRa devices that are used are those like trackers for the pets, or I heard even like Amazon Alexa is using LoRa, or like things like that. So they're not using a lot of bandwidth. It's not like my internet bill is gonna skyrocket from this. And I think it's pretty cool. So I didn't go into it for the money, and I don't expect the profitability to stick the way it is. I expect that people will keep buying these miners, and they will keep stacking them on top of each other until profitability goes down to about $2 a day. Yeah, I think at the point when it's going to be $2 a day, when it takes about a year to pay off the investment, there's going to be a lot less people interested in investing in this. That's usually how I see things in the crypto. Once the payoff time goes more than a year, there's a lot less interest. But until then, yes, I think people will keep buying them and keep putting on top of each other. And I think that's a good thing. It will be a good network, and it's not going to be like businesses making money. It's going to be actually people making money. Well, I'm not sure if they'll be making much money. I think they'll be more like covering the cost of the internet by broadcasting the internet to the further distance. And that's the thought for this video.